what does it take to get an artist signed, and what do you look for in deals to know that it's a good deal?
A lot of times, often not, the times change over time. So, years back, you used to have, you wave a demo tape and hopefully somebody will believe in you and then they'll jump behind you and give you a platform.
Right.
Nowadays, it's based upon numbers. It used to be like artist and repertoire. That's what it used to be. When
Right.
labels had 20 A&Rs, it stood for artist and repertoire. Now it's been dumbed down to more so analytics and research.
Right.
Or algorithm and rhetoric, like one of my mentors like to say, right? So, but, what I look for overall is originality, right? That's one, because I need to see the contrast in the artist, right? And, in order for the artist to get signed, you don't have to be part of the Me Too movement, so to speak, acting or rapping or looking like someone else. You just have to have your own style. So when you look at like a Tentacion, God bless the dead, or you look at a Uzi or someone like that, normally they probably would have went to the normal record like kind of record pool or record deal structure like years ago, and they might have got turned away. Right. Because they had their own fan base and they developed themselves and became, a brand and having a core audience, then it made the label say, I want to get in business with you. So that's the same way I look for artists, to be able to get them signed or to sign them to me, to say, hey, you're original. It's not too many people like you, but you dope as fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, I'm a music fan, so I look for that. And then we look to say, how can we embellish this? How can we align ourselves with it to be able to make it a bigger staple than what it is now? Right. So that gives a statement from an artist from 0 to 50 and an artist that's from 50 to 100.
Right.
So I look for like, just the originality, the contrast, and can I really sell him? Can I sell her? Or do I have to build them up to be sold? And when I say that, it's just, like as a brand, like who's buying that? What are we buying into?
What do you look for in the deal though? Like as far as like
depends on the deal.
Say we get to Epic Records or Atlantic or whatever, and then you want to compare it to Empire or Human Resources or whatever like that, like and because that's independent to major or whatever like that. We kind of comparing like when you look at whatever deal when you bring in an artist to that label, it's like what's the difference
in deals?
In deals, yeah.
Well, like I say, I always make relevance to where it used to be, where 180 deals were just regular record deals, and then you had your 270 deals that would participate in, maybe, ancillaries or participate in publishing, Then you had your 360 deal that participated everything around the board. So nowadays, the money business lives in the music business. So the reason when I answer that question is like, when I look for a partner, I don't look for a deal anymore. I always advise people to look for a partner because nowadays it's like giving up your masters and, having to succumb to a lot of the archaic things that used to be years ago. You don't have to do it anymore. So you look for a partner. So you can go to an Empire. You go to an Empire, I'll show you the difference. You go to an Empire, Empire will allow you to keep your masters and say, hey, we just want to license your back catalog and give you a budget to put out whatever your next project is.
Right.
Okay. That is going to be a revenue share deal, as far as 80-20, 70-30, whatever it may be, right, until recoupment. Then I might go to an Atlantic. I go to an Atlantic, say I don't have any numbers, and I just maybe Lon Ray or one of the executives over there believes in me and just thinks that maybe they can build me up.
Right.
So I go in and they might give me $250,000 and, they own all of my masters, right? They're putting another $150,000, $200,000 behind my marketing. Right, they own my masters again because I didn't come in. I didn't come in with anything. I have no collateral to stand on. You know what I mean? As opposed to a finesse. And the Mob Ties thing just finessed 2 times. When he came home, he ran his bag, like his notoriety and his visibility up so high that when he went to the Atlantic building, he had the whole label there. Everybody, Julie Greenwald, Craig, they don't come out for people, to get signed. Had whole buildings there. No matter what, I can imagine what that email looked like. Drop what you're doing. I don't care. Everyone needs to come to the New York office. Finesse and Prince Jr. are coming by, and we're signing him. Right.
Right.
Now that deal doesn't look like you give up your masters. That deal looks like we want to be in business with you. How can we cross-pollinate? How can we partake in what you're doing? Because your numbers are going dumb. So if we can license that, we'll still make a few $1 million. If we got to give you a few million now, hey, we'll do some washout on a write-off, and the rest will look like profit. Right. Because it's based upon what's going on now. Right. So that would be the difference in getting a licensing scenario partnership or a partnership with Empire or a record deal with Atlantic, coming with collateral or no collateral.
Right.
Which they rarely do those deals, but when they do them kind of in a a blanket sweep. So let me give you guys an example on this. So there's an app out there called Sodatone. Sodatone was actually originated by a good friend of mine's friend, right? And he sold it to the Warner Group years ago. And what it is a algorithmic app that allows you to see who's surging, see who's going up, so to speak, in YouTube and Spotify. The guy had 3 million streams in 2 days, or he's on this playlist, or you're on that playlist. So guess what happens? The employee at Warner or Atlantic, that's why they sign the most artists, because they get in front of it first. They see it first before you get a chance to see it. So before Interscope can see it, before Republic can see it, they can see it because they own the technology and they got the patent, right? Doing chart metrics is out there, but it is nowhere near as detailed as Sodatone. Like, it gets right there, right? So next thing you know, you have a big shout out to my boy Success and all my guys and people over there at Atlantic. You'll get them popping your DM. Hey, whatever your name is, such and such from Atlantic, love to connect. Oh man, I got Atlantic Records in my
Atlantic, do me first.
They hit me up. So you get on a Zoom call. They have 4 or 5 people on there, and they'll welcome you, give you a warm welcome. Hey man, we would love to hear some new music. You got some unreleased, blah blah blah. And it's like, how did you find me? You didn't find me because I'm talented. You found me because my numbers went up. You know what I mean? You didn't have a chance to see talent until you looked at the numbers, or it surged, and then you just looked at the brand and say, oh, okay, he's all right. You know what I mean? Kind of like in that space. So, yeah, so with that being said, that's how we're able to attract and how the Warner Group and Atlantic is able to just grab all out of the new artists up, to be able to sign them to the roster. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that they're playing the game. And
for sure. It's all a game.
Sure.
It's all a game.
Sure, totally.